So everybody, welcome to my channel for the afternoon discussion about the severe weather threat today. My name is Tim Naylor, meteorologist. Hope you're doing well. And it seems wild that we got this potential here with frozen precip just to the north, right? Bring up the composite radar. You see what I'm talking about here. Pretty wild, severe weather, and then sleet, snow up to the north. So we got a lot going on right now. So let's go back to severe threat, and that's what this discussion is about. We have a slight risk of severe weather along the south of Columbus with a marginal risk to the north here. Okay, so with tornado risk is still maintained here. Okay, as of 10:03 a.m. With a 5% tornado risk down south of Columbus, 2% in points northward here in the marginal risk area. And the slight risk is driven by the chance for high winds in areas where more destabilization may occur, with a smaller risk further to the north here. So no hail expected or severe hail expected with this threat. So moving on to the current conditions here, I brought up the radar. You see some a strong line of storms moving through Alabama right now, with the tornado watch in the same area where they have the mesoscale discussion going on. Temperatures in the 60s and 50s here, and even to the north here, where the temperatures are marginal in the 50s, all the way up to the north here, we have a pretty strong line of storms going through here. More discrete cells further to the south, where it's even warmer. Okay, but yeah, it's very dynamic system moving through, and Um, the temperatures are starting to rise here just to the south of the middle Georgia area, but I don't think they're gonna recover enough, at least in the Warner Robins area, to for a tornado risk. But I'm pulling out my pen here. The potential is not zero. Okay, the biggest potential I think is for winds, but really, this line is supposed to come through in the next 4 hours, and to see the air mass recover that quickly, I'd like, I want to see if that really happens or not, right? The temperatures are starting to rise in this area, but the recovery is already done here in the south. So, the most likely threat for tornadoes, even though the shear parameters aren't as great, is down here. I'm going to review all that here with this, but that's my thinking right now. But this is almost a nowcasting thing. If we change this to velocity real quick, we can look at the velocities here on the line. 20, 30, 40 miles per hour. Let's see, closer up. Yeah, so some pretty strong wind gusts, and those special weather statements are in place because of that. And there's severe thunderstorm warnings and also some special marine warnings for thunderstorms down here. And you switch back to the radar. Just different storms here down there as well. Let me move this out of the way. High res reflectivity, right? We go to storm weather relative velocity. Um, yeah, along the kink, and there's a kink in the line here. You see that right there? Some rotation evident uh, right there. But there's no tornado warning as of right now. Some other marine warnings. It's going to cross over into water here shortly. So I'm going to go into my analysis here and talk about this. And listen, I'm not an expert on everything with severe weather, but I'm going to do my best to spell it all out here for everybody today. You can see some lightning as well going on down here. So this is the surface SPC meso analysis page, right? It shows the 0 to 3 kilometer millicate and surface vorticity. So where this red circle is millicape values, and the vorticity is in the blue, right? You see it surges to the north here as a line moves through the area, right? It's hard to make out features underneath it. You see the cell, it's hard to like see here, but you see the cells embedded in the line moving through where the vorticity is greatest, right? So um, the vorticity, if there's a bullseye down here into northern Florida as this line moves to the east. So there's a sharp cutoff here in middle Georgia. So, you know, this vorticity and cape values intersecting each other in this area, I still think that holds the greatest possibility if we get convection firing for some intense updrafts and possible tornadoes, even though the uh, the atmosphere is going to be marginal at the surface. And we'll just have to see whether the temperatures get warm enough here. So let's look at the current, let's see what this thinks is going to do. You get the temperature in green, dew points, right? Surface temp, I don't know, you know, it's going to be hard to get warm enough temps for further to the north here. See that boundary here? It's hard to make out in red there. Dew points, just kind of riding just south of middle Georgia here. Pretty steep gradient there. So right along south of the warm front. And I can't keep this in one place because it won't stay there. So put the surface obs in. Anyway, I'm going to go to a different product here to talk about this in a little more detail. So one of the things that's driving this is a mid-level jet streak here, right? And it moves to the north over time here, right? But see how it's moving through the area, which is contributing to enhanced lift. And on the back side of that is where the biggest risk would be, right? And you can see how strong it is going all the way up the East Coast with that that flow, right? You have just an incredible amount of flow here at 700 millibars, 70 knots here, extending all the way down into Florida here. So quite an impressive jet streak here. And you have another one pushing through tomorrow. But of course, the cold airs are going to be through, right? But then moves out to sea there. So that's that. So this is the SPC HREF ensemble viewer. This is a high resolution ensemble viewer, right? And you can see the surface temps here, right? Surging, warm temps surging to the north here. And we go through time. You can generally see where the warm front is situated. The highest surface temps are down into southern parts of Florida here. Down to the east here, we're not really worried about that. But see where the warmest temps are right along the Gulf Coast. The temps potentially surge northward here, but not looking like they're going to quite make it up into middle Georgia where I'm at in Warner Robins, but just to the south here, um, even with 50-degree temperatures, let's look at the dew point here, what the dew point is going to be. And 50-degree dew points, that's going to be marginal at best here. And that's kind of along the lines what the SPC is saying. But, you know, just to the south of there, see like a surface flow maybe moving through the flow here along that front, right? So that vorticity is pretty pronounced there, and I'm going to bring that up again. Now, this is well, I'm going to switch to another product here. So, I want to show you a couple things here. The helicity values and the shear associated with. You see how incredible the shear values are. 0 to 1 kilometer shear values, right? Move this through time. Maybe try to move this here. See what I'm talking about here? 0 to, I don't know if this is overdone or not, but 0 to 1 kilometer shear, 800, just in middle Georgia here, right? And that's just insane. If we get any storms of fire, that is just insanity there. You see how it kind of gets sheared out and moves to the north here, but really some just incredible shear values here. I don't think I remember ever seeing anything like that. So helicity values are 0 to 3 kilometers, right? Pretty incredible as well. Off the charts here for middle Georgia. It's crazy. Just incredible amount of shear in the atmosphere. And 0 to 6 kilometer shear as well. You can see there's a hint of some kind of boundary here or something moving through the flow, right? And I don't have, there's not a lot of, I don't remember exactly how to quantify this. So anyway, I just want to show you that the highest shear values are, right? So that's like 10 p.m., so that's 6 p.m. So let's go to the radar here, reflectivity type. All right, you see what I'm talking about here. See almost the the shape of these um, cells almost take on a look of what we're talking about here with the shear values. So let's go back to severe weather. You see what I mean with the shape of those those cells, not supercells, cells within the line. Just an amazing amount of shear in the atmosphere. So surface cape, that's the biggest problem here, right? Surface cape is pretty limited here, except for down into southern Georgia and parts of Florida. Updraft helicity, not incredibly strong, maybe for the south here, and these tracks, okay, for the south. Significant tornado perimeter is the highest along the Gulf Coast here, which I would expect. Supercell composite, highest along the Gulf Coast here. So, you know, I know, guys. Let's go back here and discuss this a little bit more. So you can maybe see what's driving this, the extreme helicity values here. Almost like a kink in the flow here, moving through middle Georgia, right, as part of this. Quite an extreme change here, right? And you just incredible amount of change of direction here, right? And with like 850 millibars, kind of the same look here. Interesting look. It's almost like a surface low is right there or something. So I'm going to go through this again, look at it real quick. So yeah, you see this here? So a surface feature along the front may be contributing to what we're seeing here. So you see that 1008 millibar contour line there? and it kind of just disappears, right? So this is a big contributor, I think, with the helicity values, where they're going to be at. Whether this can be taken advantage of remains to be seen. So, a lot of uncertainty, I guess I could say. And further to the south, you're further removed from helicity, but the shear is strong, right? So, there's a give and take here. We're just going to have to see in the next few hours how the atmosphere reacts to all this. But I think given all the dynamics in place, we at the very least are going to have some high winds. So let's look at that. Let's bring the surface winds up here. This wind gusts. I don't know, just to the south of the central Georgia area, you have the potential for some higher winds here in storms, right? Not showing a lot for middle Georgia, although I think it's still possible here. But the most likely chance for the higher winds are for the south. But any storms that do fire along this line have the potential to bring high winds down to the surface. And if we go back, look reflectivity, see if we have a more recent run here. This is the latest run. So I'm going to go back through and show this. I mean, this is still showing a pretty intense line of storms moving through here. So now, so I know I'm kind of skipping around, but I want to review this and go over it in as much detail as possible. And so when we talk about timing, okay, this is 1 p.m., which is roughly 20 minutes from now, 2 p.m., 3 p.m., 4 p.m. That's when storms may be moving through the south here, right? And they may move through a little earlier than that. 5 p.m., move through the middle of Georgia and northern Georgia, move to the south here, 6 p.m. So, and then move through and weaken some over time, although may have some backfilling behind it here, but nothing severe expected. So as we finish this video up, I just want to say thank you for watching. And, you know, this potential for severe weather is important, but also is for the winter weather to the north here. And I may go live later if we do have the severe threat materialize in my area. We'll see what happens. Either way, there's going to be a lot of cold air behind this. We're going to have a lot to talk about in the coming days and maybe next weekend. So stay safe and God bless.